Hi people, I'm Anurag and I made this video like 12 days ago about MCA in Christ University. I talked about the admission process and about micro presentation and personal interview. I guess I missed a few points here and there, so I did have a lot of queries on LinkedIn. Um, I guess second round interviews are today, if I'm not wrong. Anyway, so I'll reiterate on a few points that I missed. Also, I had a few queries regarding like campus environment and placements. I'm very sorry I won't be able to answer these questions because I myself got admitted in the first round and I'll be starting my university studies only in July. So I won't be able to tell you about university environment. However, I did ha ask a few of the seniors and they said the environment is great. They brush you up for corporate sector and placements are decent. Like it all comes down to your skill really, but like placements are decent if you're skilled enough. Um, anyway, so let's start with the admission process again. I won't be iterating too much about the eligibility criteria and the process itself actually. Let's talk about the online test. So for the second round students, the test is already over. I'm very sorry, I should have made this video few days back probably. Anyway, so these tips might help the third round students and probably students uh, applying next year. So the most important tip for the online test is practice number systems. Like if you are from a non-CS background, there's a chapter called number system in computer science. It's about different number systems, basically like decimal, binary, octal, hexadecimal, etc. So it will hardly take it. Like this is a very easy chapter. It will you will learn the conversions within a few hours actually. So learn about the conversions like from binary to decimal, decimal to binary. Mostly octal and hexadecimal probably aren't asked that much, but decimal conversions questions on these are very common. Like you will get about 10 to 15 questions, I guess. Um, Also, about the conversions, there are questions where you have to do operations on two binary numbers. Let's say, suppose there will be a question like, uh, let's say, add 001100 plus 001110, like not 211, something like this, like two binary numbers. Now, what you can do is you can convert like the first number to decimal, then convert the second number to decimal, and then finally add them, and then convert them back to decimal again. But this will take quite a lot of time. So uh, you can actually add these two numbers without converting to decimal. So like things like this. So learn this. You will find tutorials on YouTube. These things are very easy. Anyway, so that's the most important tip for online test. Apart from that, for the micro presentation personal interview, I'd suggest to prepare like a brief introduction. Also, before the micro presentation, like after you have given the test, the online test, like you'll probably have at least 1 day gap between your online test and micro presentation. At least 1 day, probably more. I had like three or 4 days, I guess, before my micro presentation. Anyway, so the link for your interview, micro presentation, personal interview, will be updated in your online admit card. So if you refresh the admit card from time to time, the link will be updated. Also, you will probably get an email regarding the same that the link has been updated. Then you can refresh the admit card and the link will be there. The link also the link is something like in your admit card it will be something like suppose personal interview and micro presentation like some HP sort of link like this. Some sort of link will be there. You just have to go to that link at the time you are allotted, and the interview will begin. Uh, Also, there will be another bullet point that will have the name. So use this name. The name will be something like, suppose MCA, suppose like 2023. Suppose my name is Anurag, and then suppose your application number, something like this. The name for the personal interview would be something like this. So when you go to this link, you will have to, of course, type in your name and application number. In the name, in the name section, when you join the interview, don't type in your actual name, which is in my case Anurag Sharma. Don't type in your actual name. Instead, type in this name, which will be mentioned in your in your personal in your admit card. So type in this name. It will be something like this. Like this is not the format, of course. Like you will know when you see it. It will be something like this. I'm not sure how it is, but just copy it and paste this name. Uh, I mean, all this information is written in the admit card. When you read the rules, you will know. But during my interview, I noticed quite a lot of students didn't update their name like this. So yeah, I'm telling you in advance. So that's the procedure part. Now, once you join for the personal interview, you will be in a group meeting. Like a lot of students will be waiting there in the room. And now one by one, you will be transferred internally. You will be transferred to a particular interviewer. So you have to turn off your like video and audio inputs and like sit there patiently. It's like a Zoom call basically. Like a lot of students will be there. Just uh, you know uh, turn off your mic and video and like sit silently. You'll automatically be after some time you will automatically be transferred to a personal room where only you and the interviewer will be present and no one else can see that. So you just have to wait for them to transfer you internally to that room. After that, after you join the interview room, the interviewer will ask you to confirm your application number. Keep the application number handy. Uh, you don't want to make him wait. So probably make a sticky note, write the application number and stick it on your laptop screen. So you will have it handy. Anyway, after that, after confirming your application number, he will ask you to introduce yourself, like make a brief introduction. What I did was like my introduction was very brief and like concise. Like I had my name, I told them where I belong from. Like suppose my name is Anurag Prashish Sharma. I said I'm from Tinsukia, Assam. Like I personally feel you should like this is only my personal preference. I think like I'm from a small town called Tinsukia, but don't mention the small town part. Like don't say I'm from a small town, Tinsukia, Assam. Like don't say it like that. Uh, just say the town name and the state name. Like my name is Anurag Prashish Sharma. I'm from Tinsukia, Assam. Like that's it. Like you don't want to sound petty, you know. Uh, and After that, like mention where you did your schooling from. Maybe you can mention the school's name. Uh, then you can men mention and then mention the where you did your bachelor's from. Mention the college and or the university, and definitely mention the subject you did your bachelor's in. And specifically, if you are from non-CS background, I think you really should mention the subject because it has many perks. I will talk about it later. After you mentioned your schooling, then you mentioned your bachelor's information, then you should talk about like one or two hobbies. Like I talked about, I have a keen interest in chess, so like playing chess, and I said that I produce music. Uh, so like stuff like this, like whatever hobby you have, just how it goes. So let's first, just tell them about that. After your hobbies, probably the interviewer asked me a question about my hobby. I'm not sure, I forgot. After the hobby part, like after you introduce yourself, uh, he will ask the interviewer will ask you questions now. So my questions were, like, as I said in my previous video, my questions were pretty predictable. Since I'm coming from a non-CS background, he asked me two specific questions, I guess. That like why I switched from a non-CS to a CS, switching from a non-CS to a CS degree. And another question was like how I will adapt in a CS degree when a lot of my fellow classmates will be from BCA uh, or other computer science fields, and they will have much higher theoretical knowledge than me. So how I will adapt in a classroom like that. So yeah, like prepare answers. Like since like I think most of the students who are watching this video are from non-CS background, so just prepare your answers beforehand. Like don't wait and think at that moment. Like you should be ready with your answers. So in my case, when he asked me about like why I wanted to switch from a non-CS to CS, I explained to him that in the fourth semester of my bachelor's, I came across a research paper on artificial intelligence. I got interested. I started reading it. I started researching more. Then like I just made framed a story. I mean, it was kind of true, my story, but like even if you don't have a true story, like kind of frame a story. So that was my story. So basically, don't answer the question in a sense like don't tell them that you are switching from a non-CS to CS because you want a good salary hike, or don't tell them like you want good placements. Like don't say something like this. Like frame a story, like a good story, and tell them properly explain them like why it's important to you that you switch from a non-CS to a CS degree. Uh, yeah. And after that, wait a second. I will just pause this recording and I will restart. Yeah. I'm restarting the recording. Anyway, so after that these questions, you'll be given a micro presentation topic, which in my case was how artificial intelligence can help in the study of chemistry. It was a pretty standard question. I didn't prepare for this particular topic, but like if you to think about it, it's quite manageable topic, right? Like since I'm coming from chemistry and like I can iterate a few points here and there about how artificial intelligence would be able to help in the study of chemistry. So the reason why you should mention your subject in bachelor's is this. I mean, when you are in an interview, you want to direct the interview in the direction you are comfortable in. So personally, I'm from a non-CS background, so I really didn't know a lot of theoretical stuff on computer science. Like I had like a basic understanding, but like I don't didn't have much like a degree level understanding of computer science. So I specifically mentioned chemistry like two, three times throughout my introduction and like while I was answering my questions. So I wanted the interviewer to know that I'm from a non-CS background. I wanted to take the interview that direction. Uh, Also, I mean, suppose you are more comfortable with answering, let's say, computer science questions. Let's say you are more comfortable in answering questions on artificial intelligence. You are quite good at it. Like, just mention artificial intelligence two or three times before the macro presentation topic or before you are asked technical questions. Because when you mention it again and again and again, there's a very high chance that the interviewer will actually ask you a question on artificial intelligence itself. So keep that in mind. Like direct the interview in a direction where you are comfortable in. So that's a very important tip. After the micro presentation topic, the interview will ask you technical questions. Like I said, in my case, I mentioned chemistry two or three times probably, and I like by now the interviewer had like a good sense that I'm from a non-CS background. So he personally asked me on what like what sort of technical questions he should ask me. So I honestly replied that I'm not very well versed with computer science theoretical uh, knowledge. So I would like to answer questions on mathematical side of computer science. So yeah, so then he said, okay, I will ask you questions on maths. So in the previous video, I already told you what questions I was asked. So yeah, so that's how overall the personal interview went. So after answering those questions, eventually I was answering maths questions pretty well. So he shifted to computer science questions himself, which were pretty easy. Like he asked me about abstraction and encapsulation, uh, which we studied in object-oriented programming. Uh, and yeah, so after that, he will ask you like interview like at the end of the interview, the interviewer will ask you if you have any questions for me. So I think you should ask one or two questions to the interviewer, but don't ask him questions like how his experience at Christ University is, or like don't ask him how the interview went. Like ask him something related to the course. Probably if you like like suppose you read the research of some faculty, or like probably that faculty is the interviewer himself. Like ask him about his research or like that. So I asked something on similar grounds. Like I asked him about how research is conducted on computer science, and like how students at Christ University are given the opportunity to pursue research, something like this. So yeah, ask some sort of questions. The interviewer is always uh, very polite and humble while answering you, and that's it. Like that ends the micro presentation and personal interview. And like all these things I talked about, it hardly takes 10 minutes. So be very ready. Like prepare your answers. Practice in front of a mirror. Uh, don't try not to stutter. I kind of stuttered, of course. I was nervous as well, and you will be as well. I understand. That's very normal. So try not to stutter, but even if you stutter, it's fine. Uh, and yeah, so that's it. And also, I was uh, about to tell you another tip I forgot. I'll just pause this video once again. I'll re-record once I remember what I was about to tell you. Yes. Yeah. I was about to tell you that let's say like I was asked questions on mathematics, of course. But let's say your interviewer doesn't give you, the liberty to choose the topic where the questions will be asked. So in that case, I think uh, it's good to prepare a few computer science topics, the basic ones, of course. Like suppose if you have learned C++ or like any programming language, just know the different data types, uh, what are for loops, what are loops used for, what are functions, like in general, like what is like the basic of object-oriented programming, like few basic computer science topics. I think it's good to know few topics just in case uh, the interview asks questions on computer science. And yeah, that's it. So I think I cleared all the points now. Like even now, if there's any doubt, I think you can still contact me. Like there's no problem. I'll be happy to clear all the doubts. But yeah, regarding like the university environment, I won't be able to answer. I mean, uh, it's only because I haven't visited. Like I did visit the university for my admission, but like I haven't started studying in the university, so I won't be able to answer like exactly how the environment, like the study environment is. So yeah, it's good luck to everyone, and hope yeah, hope you guys, some of you guys will be my classmates in the course starting from July. And yeah, if still you have any doubts, feel free to contact me on LinkedIn. Uh, this uh, this is my LinkedIn profile. It's in the comment section. Although while uploading this video, this time I will add the LinkedIn profile on in the video description as well. So I think some of your some of the students of the second round have personal interview scheduled today, and some have tomorrow, probably. I'm not sure. So yeah, good luck to everyone.